Here we go. There we go. Okay. So welcome to the November 2025 Branch Development Committee Peer Group Meeting. We're excited to see you all here. Peer group meetings are a program for branch leaders, including presidents, president-elect, program chair, membership, nominating committees, and anyone else that you think would be benefit by being in attendance here. I'm Sigrid Morans. I'm AUW California co-director for branch development, and my role is leadership development. We also have Becky Gomez, who is AUW California co-director for membership, Donna Holmes, who is AUW director for strategic plan and five-star program, and Sharon Siebert, who is AUW California director and president-elect along with me for next year. And she's currently running branch support and a couple of other specialized programs for us.
I have nothing else to do with my life.
Yeah. So a couple of announcements.
Thank goodness.
Our next branch development peer group meeting will be on Tuesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. And we'll be publishing the schedule for 2026 very soon, so you can see the topics that we're going to be covering in January through June. Tonight, we're going to hear first from Patricia Souza. She's the chair of our Branch Activity of the Year program, and she's going to tell you all about this year's Branch Activity of the Year program, how to apply, and what winning programs look like. And then following Patricia, we'll hear from Peggy Shippen. She's the chair of our Leadership Development Program and creator of Volunteers First. Peggy will lead a discussion on how to implement this in your branch. So thank you to everybody for participating tonight. When you sign off, you'll be directed to a quick survey, which I hope you'll complete. This helps us understand your needs and evaluates our presentations. We're not going to ask you to mute all the time, but if you're not talking and there's background music noise in your house, please mute. But because these are interactive, we want you to be able to hop in there and ask questions. And it's best if you use your little raise the hand icon. I don't know if you have all used that. It's the bottom of your screen with all the little and when you raise your hand, it goes like that. And then when you lower it, it goes away. And that way your face will jump to the top of the screen and we can see that you have a question. So this session's being recorded for archival purposes, and it'll be available in a few days on the AUW California website under branch support peer groups. We'll put our website in the chat and has our schedule as well as links to all the past recordings. So we're going to start with Patricia, and we're going to, where are you? There we go. We're going to spotlight you there. All right.
And
Yep, it's up. We can see it.
yeah, I'm trying to just make it but I have a
slideshow.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
See the little guy down at the bottom?
Yeah, it was covered up for a while. Okay, I'm Patricia Souza, and this is all about Branch Activity of the Year. We call them the Bay Awards. And this program provides branches an opportunity to showcase and be recognized and share your finest activity. It can be a one-off program or sustained over the whole year. The deadline for this year's application will be March 15th. So thinking about a winning application, we look for those that are novel, inspirational, reproducible, promotes our mission, and incorporates elements of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We also know that successful programs are those that collaborate or work with others to create an impactful program that showcases our mission and our priorities. So as most of you know, community groups, government, local leaders, public safety, children, teens, schools, other advocacy groups are really great to work with. And another wonderful thing about applying for this program, it will meet many criteria. If you're thinking of working at the same time for your 5-star award, and looking at public policy, communications, sustainability, and programming, those will all pop up just because you do a great program. So to find more information, you go to the AEW California branch tools is across the very top, then scroll down to branch activity of the year 2025. You can see the winners from last year, and you can even watch a video made by those winners. You'll have a good idea of what is a high quality program that usually wins this award. And also we're letting people know that if you win, you'll need to make a video similar to those that you're looking at from last year to be shown at our annual event in April. So save flyers, photos, outreach, and other materials from your event so you could make that part of your video if you were a winner. Also, I know from last year, which was my first time, winning applications are well-written with great detail. So, you know, get a couple of people to look over your application and add a little bit more. How many people did you reach? How much money, if it was a fundraiser, how much money did you make? Who did you work with? So the application will be live on Friday, January 2nd. And you go to the same place, click on branch tools, scroll down to branch activity of the year, and then you'll go to the little button that says more, and you will see. So to review all the stuff I'm talking about, you know, you can go to the branch tools, scroll down, and you'll be able to see the winners. Also, if your branch does not plan to submit an application this year, we're looking for judges. It's a fun 2-week quick thing. You get to look at all the applications that are submitted, and we have a really great way to identify who you think are the strongest applicants. The judging will take place in March. So between March 15th and the end of March. So that's when you need to be available. So if you're going to Hawaii, don't call me. But otherwise, I'd love to talk with you. My name again is Patricia Souza. You'll see my information in the Bay Awards information on the website. I'm really very approachable. You can talk to me about questions and wondering, you know, how does this work? Or I'm not sure that I could make a video. Certainly, we're trying to identify people at the state level that will help you make your video. Last year, Sigrid did a wonderful job, and we're hoping to make it a little easier for the state staff to make these videos, and they're plugged right in at the event in April. So if anybody has a quick question now, otherwise it's lovely to email me and I'll send you my phone number and we can chat if you want to. And again, being a judge is a very interesting opportunity to learn more about all the different activities. And lots of my judges from last year got great ideas and they're implementing those programs this year in their branches. So you do learn a lot too. Thanks everyone for listening, and I'm going to stop sharing. We'll go back to Sigrid. But
So
was there
does
any quick questions?
Yeah. Anybody have questions about the Bay Award or how to make a submission or anything that Patricia can help you with?
Once the applications are live, it really does spell out what did you do and how did you do it, and it gives you all the information you need. But again, call me, talk to me, email me. You know, I'm happy to help.
Lisa, you have a question.
More of a comment. My name used to be Lisa Groom. I went back to my maiden name, partly because of the SAVE Act, and I don't trust Washington right now. But so some of you might have seen a Bay Award won by Napa County a few years ago, and that was me. It was a one-off. We found the first tech trekker from 1998, and she lived
I remember
in
that.
Atlanta, Georgia, and she flew out for the event. It was just phenomenal, and I was very surprised to be one of the ones selected because it was a one-off. But I just want to, I guess, support what she was saying. It wasn't easy process. Everything was lined out for you step by step by step, and we didn't have to do a video.
Yeah.
We had to record, we had to have the voiceover, but I just want to encourage everybody for doing that. It was a lot of fun, and it was very easy. It was, nerve-wracking, I guess, but easy. They made it very easy for us. And that's all I wanted to say. So thank you all for doing that.
Thank you,
Great.
Lisa. And I think as people are planning and doing programming right now, thinking about is it reproducible? Is it novel? Is it, talk about diversity? Does it talk about the mission? As we're doing our programming, those are really the best components of the programs that you're going to be producing between now and April 15th. And so, it's just good to think about what is a high quality program, because that's what we want to do. I know in our branch, I think there's only two programs a year that they really put a lot of effort into. The others can be a little more fun or a little lighter, but at least twice a year, the programs have incorporated all of the high quality components. Well, thanks again. I guess it's Peggy's turn.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Patricia. Becky, you want to introduce?
Sure. Hi, I'm Becky Gomez. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know it's a holiday, so I know we're taking up some good time. We neglected to do one thing, and that was to have everybody put their name and their branches into the chat,
yeah.
just so that we know who's here. That always helps us. Please keep yourself on mute if you're not speaking. Please raise your hand. As Sigrid mentioned, it's under the React button at the very bottom. When you have a question, we want to entertain all the questions that you have. So please be brief when you speak, because we do want your feedback. This is really important. The purpose of this program that Peggy's going to talk about is to let you know about it. It's relatively new, even though we feel like we've been rolling it out for months, but to different audiences. And this is sort of a teach the teacher type of thing. We want you to be able to use this information to roll it out to your branches. This is a discussion on the implementation and to inspire your branch to engage with the members. So, and we'll talk a little bit about connecting the 5-star and the Bay Awards to this program. So, Peggy, I'm going to kick it off to you. So go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that there's somebody here. This is really neat. Before we just kind of it was more of a teaching situation. And tonight, what I'd like to do is just have it be more of a kind of a relaxed discussion situation. And as you know, Volunteers First is a program for leaders of volunteers. And so just out of curiosity, how many of you were able to watch the video? If you could just raise your hands. That would be really helpful to know how many.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, I do have some slides, and I will put them up as we kind of go along. But for those of you who viewed the program, what did you find that was most interesting? What did you like about the program? And okay, Patty, you raise your hand, the name pops up, and I'm just gonna call on you. All right, Patty Carlson.
You're muted.
Actually, the raise your hand was, you said raise your hand if you listen to it, and
Okay.
I did reviewed the slide deck, and I found interesting the difference between the motivation of coming from a solid business leadership background to switching over to a volunteer background. So I found the differences interesting.
Okay, great. Anyone else? What did you find interesting about the program? For those of you who did not watch I'm going to do screen share. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm just going to pop down here really quick to pop up some, oh dear, I know what I have to do. First, I have to go on to share. There's a little system that I have to follow that to get this all going, and then share. And then here we go. Can you all see the slide now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is what Patricia was talking about, that, you know, and this is one of the things I really would want to emphasize tonight, is that we can't pay our volunteers, but I want to tell you, they are here to be paid. They really are here to be paid. And one of the things that the research showed is that they're going to be paid in how they can altruize, how they can go out into the community and do good, or how much they can socialize if they're socializers, how much they can learn if they really, really like to learn, and how much they can maybe self-actualize. They may not say that, but maybe they do like to do something different. And eventually, as you all know, we've been in situations where we have had some personal growth. So as opposed to paying people, then these are the things we're going to need to look for. So whether or not you have seen the program or seen the slides, which I encourage you to do if you haven't, how do you think you're going to learn where these people are coming from? You know, if you were in business and you were going to try to figure out how to keep your employees, you would want to know how much the salary they want to be paid. How can you possibly learn about how your members, what is the payoff for them? Anybody have any ideas? You can just raise your hands. Okay, this is a sharing. This is okay, Lisa.
There we go. So we not only do this on a regular basis, when we have new members join, we have a lengthy form to fill out, and then we always interview them and have a 2 or 3 paragraph biography of them in our newsletter, so we get to know them that way. But we also have new member meetings 3 times a year, and as co-president, I was able to, I mean, I keep attending because I used to do Tech Treks, and so I attended for that reason. But after hearing your presentation, I made sure to incorporate what I was saying to not sell, but congratulate all of these new members and all the wonderful things that they're going to be able to do. So I sort of plagiarized you in encouraging our members. And so I thought it was timely that this came out right before our meeting, and it was helpful. And so in our branch, we have several interviews, newsletter, and then the intake information when they join. So that's what we do.
Oh, that's wonderful. What do you ask on this form that you send out originally that might get to the heart of, you know, what moves their heart? You know, this altruize, socialize, learn, whatever. What do you ask on your form that would specifically go to the heart of that?
We ask for, well, there's several sections on our intake form that ask them all the things that they are interested in, what their background is, and what skills they bring, what they want to accomplish, that sort of thing. But they get to pick and choose, and that also helps us send their contact information to anybody who is managing that, like they're in membership or programs, or, you know, we can alert those individuals. I used to get people that were interested in Tech Trek and girls, and, you know, they would send them to me. So it's a little more, you know, like circling this little thing, circling that thing. We probably get more to the heart when we interview them.
Yeah, okay, good. I might come back to that in a minute, but Debbie?
Sorry, so we have a very active welcoming committee that is headed by one of our former co-presidents. I think for me, when I looked at all the slides, and I thought about this other volunteer community that I'm a part of at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. And I know that personal connections mean a lot to the people in our group. So we try to assess, in addition to interviewing them in a sense by having them fill out a form about their interests, and trying to find sort of a buddy for them that will be their connection initially, if they didn't already have one, because many of our members come in through a connection with another member. We find at the aquarium, I know that just having other people who share your interests and know enough about you to share what they're learning, and just opportunities for more learning, all of that really helps to keep people bonded to the group. That say we only have about 35 members of a single team, but there are many more than that, many more volunteers than that. Anyway, it is that personal connection, I think, that makes it, sort of enlarges the commitment that people have. Anonymity is not a good thing.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, when I was reading through the slides, I was, oh yeah, this is exactly,
Good.
this is a
So
lack.
you were to discover what you're doing right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has been learned through many years at the aquarium, but yeah, and I think not to tout our own horn, but in our particular group, we are one of the more successful groups at making connections and keeping people engaged and committed, because you want to know when people are going to show up and all of that, because, obviously we're greeting guests and working with the public. But yeah, I think that's made all the difference, that we have all of these personal alliances, so to speak. And we engage, and the constant learning as well. So, book groups, obviously, that's a source of many people's interest in AAUW, for us anyway, in addition to the social
Can I ask you how
engagement.
you pair? Sure. Can I ask you how you pair people up? Like somebody who's new with somebody who isn't. How do you do that?
Yeah, well, we have people who are interested in buddying people, and sometimes it's proximity. And maybe somebody you've met at one of the introductory meetings or whatever will say, well, who have you met? Have you connected with anybody here? And so it's an outreach, I guess. And our welcoming group is kind of
That's
separate from, I mean, they're really good at what they do. They
Yeah, so
send
that's
they
part of the welcoming committee then. is
exactly,
that
yeah.
group. Yeah.
They send
That's-
out newsletters just for the new people.
Oh, they
You know,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're amazing. We didn't have, this is a relatively new group. It's like, I think maybe 2 years old. I was on membership during COVID, and we made phone calls mostly to try to
Yeah.
connect with all the members. But this came about, this was, again, the former president of our branch who really, really wanted this. She's wanted it for a long time, but didn't have time, I think, when she was doing so many other jobs. But anyway,
Yeah, I think the more phone calling does not seem to be the thing anymore. It's sort of
Right.
texting and as much as you can try to get together in person.
yeah.
Anyone else want to talk about what they liked about Volunteers First? Yeah. Somebody has their hand up, AUW California Leadership Team, whoever that
I'm
is.
sorry, Peggy, it's Sharon.
Oh,
I just
hi,
wanted
Sharon.
I just wanted to comment that AAUW, as opposed to the 399 other women's organizations working on some aspect of equity for girls and women, has a social component. We are the only group that I know that does that. And so if that is where you get your new members in the book group or the bridge group or whatever the social component is, that's a way to work your way around to what else they might be interested in. I know a previous board member had said one time, I wish we didn't have any interest groups. And I thought, well, that's sort of biting our nose to spite our face,
Well,
because
yeah,
that's what makes us unique.
Barry Atlin was saying if that's all they're interested in, at least they're paying their dues. So we have to,
Exactly.
you know, instead of going, oh, no, 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 you know, we learn to accept and then try to go from there. Paula,
Yes, I really like the emphasis on the circles of engagement.
oh, good, good.
Yeah, we started something last year. Our DEI chair started table talks, and that interaction and engagement with members just, I mean, we've gotten better, attendance at our branch meetings, and people are loving it. So, and going over that recording, it gave me a lot of new ideas. So I thought that was a great part of it.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's just wonderful. Anyone else? Have any comments?
Donna,
Mm.
Donna.
Donna, good. I thought I saw your hand and then I
Take
didn't.
myself off mute.
Okay.
What I found interesting was in the circles of engagement and the meetings that the meeting should be 50% socialize
Mm-hmm.
and 50% the presentation, not so loaded with just speaking to a group of people and then they leave, but having the time to interact. And that's how we get to know each other. So it's kind of this circle. You can't know the person if you don't have time to know the person. And we have over 200 members. So
Yeah.
for me to go out and have coffee with all 210 individually would be really hard.
And
But-
really, the point of it all is that they get to know each other. I mean, it's
Yes.
nice for you to get to know them too, but they do need to get to know each other.
There you go.
What I wanted to do is reemphasize, and I'll ask you another question, Donna, as a follow-up, but the circles of engagement were not only that you have 50% engagement, but that is the engagement part, the 50% engagement part did not include social time.
Yeah, it was.
That includes, so you have your social time 20 minutes before you start your meeting, and then within the meeting, you split that up. Because what we're wanting to do is get to the depth and the breadth of the heart of each other, not just, oh, hi, good to see you. You know, what have you been doing lately? How's your husband? How's your what? You know, that kind of stuff. We want to kind of, and if you take an engagement piece from what a speaker has just had to say, and you don't just ask the questions of the speaker, but you're talking in a circle, then I think you're going to get to know each other. Did you want to comment back on that, Donna?
Well, the one thing that we've done at some of the meetings, and it's been wildly successful, so why, maybe we need to do it more, is we have had, for the socializing, we've had a quiz or
Oh.
something. And so we've watched who the members are going to be who are attending, and we made it up. So find the member that's been to 58 plus countries. Find the member that, and just all these different odd facts. And then they had to have that member sign. It became like a little, so you had to keep moving
Oh, yeah.
and meeting each other to be able to find out. But they were really interesting factoids. Marty McNew was the 58 countries for those of you.
Oh, that's interesting. Anyone
you.
else have any suggestions for these kinds of circles of engagement where you're trying to split your time? I know you've done this before. This is not all new to everybody. Or do you have how about new ideas for, say, 5-star? And you're trying to do a 5-star like public policy speakers, how would you do an engagement with any one of those 5-star things that you're looking for? Anyone else? All righty. So, Sigrid, yes.
Well, we just had a branch meeting on Sunday, and it was our new member welcome meeting. And we had 8 new members, which was fantastic. But more importantly, we had 3 people who were not members who signed up at the meeting. And we have a big percentage of our membership is into art, whether it's painting, sculpture, writing, whatever. They're all artists. I live in Laguna Beach. What can you say? You know, and so um, we had it at somebody's home who is an artist. And so she took us all around her house, which is just a gallery of her work, and talked about her work and how she got from here to there. And some of the sculptures were of her family members. And they were so real and lifelike. And then they talk about your family, and other people talked about their family. And we also have a big Persian group and they all talk about, family back home and which ones live here and which ones don't, and, how they've acclimated in this country, and just really getting to know everybody as a person and what their personal life is about. It was amazingly successful. I loved it. It was great.
Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful idea, especially when you're just trying to get to at the beginning of the year, when you're just trying to get back to the feel of things, and your new members are coming in to join the older member, or the long-term members, I should say. And some of us long-term members, we don't know each other real well either. And so that's really kind of neat. Anyone else have a comment before I move on a little bit? Because I know some of you have not seen the slides, so I'm going to go back to sharing. And I have this slide here. The most important thing, other than we got to tune into the fact that you're going to pay them by what moves their heart. And it's either to provide a way to socialize while they engage with the mission, whether they learn something while they engage for the mission, or whether they just engage for the mission in an activity that really inspires them, is that leadership is now focusing first and foremost on building and facilitating relationships. So the trick is, because we do have, they brought the 5-star program back because they did find, and then by they, I mean AAUW National, found that branches that engaged in the 5-star program were actually had more retention, had more engagement. And it brought people together because, as you know, when AUW California did their research on why did some people leave, some people said they left because we weren't doing enough for the mission. So anyway, in order to get to work toward the mission, and in order to retain and engage, we must first and foremost build and facilitate relationships. So this will be your first new priority when you think about the things that you can do that will cause members to engage more and to retain. It will also help when you are trying to recruit members. So looking at that, maybe you can share with me some ideas or some ways you have used to build and facilitate relationships just so far. And once again, I'm going to be looking for names. Pop up. Want to share? Comments? I hear a buzzing. Wonder what that is. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. All right. That the noise went away, so I didn't know if everybody else went away. And so we talked a little bit about connecting, and we talked about the circles of engagement. And now we're going to talk a little bit about support. And Barry Outland said that he believes touching base is the single most critical and effective way and caring way a leader can have to sustain a member's passion for volunteering. We want to know that what they're doing and how they're participating, when they're participating, is really satisfying. So how can, when you touch bases with your members, how will you touch bases with them as leaders? Now, I know you leaders all have really good ideas about this because you've been leaders and you've done this before. So let me see some hands. For sharing, are we shy tonight? Oh, okay, Donna, thank you.
Well, I'm good at talking.
Okay, we will let you.
If I see, if there's a member that is normally around and then all of a sudden they're not, I'll give them a call and say, gee, you know, would you like to go to coffee? Would you like to have lunch? Would you like to go for a walk? Just, you know, and then try to find out what's going on. Did their life circumstances change and it's nothing to do with us? Or has something happened? Sacramento was originally one branch. In 1960, it split into two branches, Char and Sacramento. And this year we remerged. And one of the problems was that to not overlap each other, our meetings were week 3, the third weekend of the month, and theirs were the second weekend of the month. And one of the things I found with someone who'd always been around is they do a volunteer activity on the third weekend of the month that they've done forever and ever. And then when we made that conscious decision, it became impossible for them to come.
So that was a really good example of someone who has been engaged and then doesn't seem to be engaged anymore. And so you're touching bases with them and say, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. How's that? That is really good. Another thing is that you all have activities, but let's talk about touching bases after an activity or during an activity. How do you know that the people that are in that activity are enjoying it? Have you ever had an occasion to go up to people and kind of work the room, work the event and say, hey, hi, how are you? And how's it going? And what about doing things like an after a follow-up? Anybody want to talk about that? Okay, Debbie. Oh, and okay, Debbie, go ahead, and then Becky, I'll get you.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, so one of our former co-presidents has initiated, and she's now in charge of programs. She does a handout evaluation after every program. So we get feedback from our members about what they liked about it, what they maybe didn't appreciate as much, and ideas for future programs as well. But I wanted to say that one of the things that I'm noting here is that I feel we don't do a good job of just having the meeting topic or whatever, the presentation be 50% of the program. I really like what I said. I said it in the chat too. That's a really important idea to make sure that there's more time for comments. I think so many people want, like a 2 to 4 window or something of time that they're devoting to whatever activity takes place on a Saturday, because we generally have our branch meetings on Saturdays. But I feel like we need to make sure that the program is only an hour and that people stay. They don't just take off after the meeting. We need to find a way to engage them in some sort of, in commenting and interacting about what the program was about, because the program was important enough to deliver to them, right? I don't know. I guess that just really jumped out at me, that I think a lot of people just leave after our programs.
And sometimes you can do some things before the program. And you can say, we're wondering how things are going in terms of our communication, or our, what we're wanting to do for a fundraiser. And you just have them sit in a small little group and just throw out some ideas, put them on a paper. If you have time, you can, have them, read out their answers to the group, or just turn them in, so some of this help problem solving, not big problem, but just ideas, generating ideas from the groups. At the beginning of the year, I went down to Eugene this last Saturday, and they tried the circles of engagement for the very first time ever. And people are going, oh, we're going to sit in a group. And then they said, we just want to know how things are going for you here. And what is the communication going well for you? Do you have any suggestions? And they sat in little circles and gave their ideas, and it was really cool. They really, really enjoyed it. And I have to tell you that these 2 young women that are co-presidents of the Eugene, Oregon branch, they are millennials, and they were higher than a kite about Volunteers First. They said, this is a fit for us. This is our generation and what we like to do. So, and I thought the reaction was interesting, because the sort of the boomer age group and older was not so keen about getting into a circle and having this little discussion. But they said they loved it. And I think possibly this might be something that the younger group likes to do as just part of an activity. Becky, go ahead.
A couple of things, and Debbie, thanks for your comments, because that kind of generated a couple things for me too. We used to have a real problem with people like zip in right before the meeting at 7 o'clock. And so what we did, we started building in a social time so that people could come early, they could have their social time. And, so we start off at 6:30 with social time, then the program is at 7. And that does help with getting people. And so I, as the president, when I see somebody new, I will go over, or I'll ask one of our board members to go over and chat with that new person if I'm not able to do it because I'm dealing with the speaker or I'm doing something else. One of the other things that you mentioned was, how do we assess our, events or programs? And I've done something for years and years and years, and it's called Did Well, Do Better. So what we, just do bullet points. We have just kind of a round table. What did we do well? What worked? And then we talk about what didn't work, because oftentimes we focus on all the things we did wrong or what went sideways or whatever. So it's really important to focus on what went well. So I think that part is really important, because it reemphasizes what we're doing and what we're doing that will engage members and make sure that they come back. And there was a third point I was going to make, but now I forgot what it was. So anyway,
if it comes back to you, you can share it with us. Anyone else have some comments? I really appreciate you sharing. For those of you who haven't yet spoken, I'm going to stop sharing. I would like to just kind of know, if you don't mind me just asking, how do you think after even just this short conversation, you might start to implement volunteers first? What would be something that would be maybe the first thing you might think you might try to do?
Actually, Peggy, I was just going to
Yes,
add to
Peggy?
your, yes, I was just going to add to your millennial
Sure, sure.
experience. Last Thursday, I recruited a Gen Z, 27-year-old chemical engineer working at a
Ooh,
company in Berkeley developing alternative proteins. I don't know
oh,
what she does, but to your point, we actually invited her over for lunch. My membership chair is really, I mean, she's great at hospitality. She's a great cook. So we asked her, why did you join AAW? Because I was actually tabling at a community fair last Thursday. And
yeah.
she said, well, my partner and I, we just went to see Suffs at San Francisco. So I'm like, oh, pop culture. Suffrages is a very popular Broadway show, and it came to San Francisco. And so when they saw it, they recognized all like Alice Paul and all these, women, yeah, trailblazers. And they when they saw AEW, they're like, what is that? Could that have some association with what we just saw in the play? And I said, oh, okay, interesting. And then they just told us that we chatted with Fee, we went outside, checked out your social media. We went on your webpage, we went on your Instagram, we went on your LinkedIn, and then we thought maybe we should come back and talk to Fee. And I was like, so they didn't really need the one-on-one engagement, or they didn't need to be invited to a branch meeting per se. Our social media was the engagement. So, and
Mm.
she said, well, you know what? I believe Fremont's LinkedIn could be a little bit more robust. And I mean, we were just like, oh, yes, of course. Yeah, Fee will work on that. The thing is that, my branch, 80% of our members are retirees, so they're not on LinkedIn. So that's something that we're gonna, think about, and so yeah, so the Gen Zs are looking for something that they could, associate with, and they're interested in equal rights amendment, they're interested in, empowering women, but social media is enough for them, and they want to see more information that they can use on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, and probably YouTube and TikTok. We have a YouTube account, but I haven't gone on TikTok yet because I'm the social media coordinator. But that's really interesting that, they don't need that one-on-one mentorship. They don't need the, in-person meetings, but they want a very engaging social media space.
Do you think they'll come back?
Well, they're members, and we even
Well, they became members.
Oh yeah, they signed up. They went on
Oh, they
national
did.
website,
Oh, they did.
paid,
All
and they
right.
got the shape
How
of
did they
t-shirts.
sign up? How did you connect with them to sign up?
Oh yeah, so they just whipped out their cell phone. I said, yeah, go on the national
Oh, they
website.
did?
So they just signed up and paid online. And another member who was at the luncheon today, she specifically asked them, "Are you interested in Tetra?" Oh no. Are you interested in, maybe be a reader for, logo scholarships? No, we're not. So we're thinking.
So how
What
else
do they
can you
want to
deal?
do?
What could you deal with that? Did
Yeah.
you say, but what would you like to do?
Yes. So what they want to do is they're transplants from Maryland. They went to school at Johns Hopkins.
Oh my gosh.
They are new to the Bay Area, so they want to find community, and they also want to network. They are looking for mentors that could help them transition into a different technical field if they wanted to. And so they're looking for career networking, and that's again, with the branch of mostly retirees, we need to think about that. But that was a really good experience today, is like social engagement and customizing the AEW experience.
Mhm.
Dang, social media.
But does anybody have any ideas for Fee on how she can help them connect through their membership to people who are in the tech field that how her members can get them connected. Is there any ideas anybody might have?
Sharon.
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 So,
Yeah, AUW California.
Change
you
your
know,
name, Sharon.
this
Yeah.
is exactly what, when we paid a marketing consultant
Mhm.
several years ago at AAUW California, paid a marketing consultant. And young women said they would join an organization such as ours if we offered networking and mentorship. And so just because people are retired doesn't mean that they don't have ideas and they don't have connections.
Connections, yes, that's what I was
And
thinking.
that is, you know, so it's a matter of maybe they need to have coffee with a couple of different retired people who might have some ideas. I mean, my
All
field,
points bulletin out. Hey,
Yeah,
members, does
yeah.
anybody have connections? We've got 2 new members and they're looking for connections for so-and-so. Please
and
look
the
at-
and the other thing is in their LinkedIn, you know, they should connect with AAUW California, and because we do have a LinkedIn website and so forth, and maybe they need to put it out there right there and say, you know, this is what I'm interested in. Is anybody out there? The
Uh-huh.
other thing that they could do is when you have a broader than your branch, I know you're planning to do something for your IBC, say, you know, by the way, with regard to the circles of engagement and the social aspect of a little bit of a meeting, you know, we have these new members and they're interested in networking to find out blah, blah, blah. Is anybody in the field or have any ideas?
Yeah.
Be,
Oh, I think that's
you
perfect.
know, I mean, all somebody can say is no.
And all we can do is try. I mean, we just put forth
Exactly.
a good effort. And I think we have so many bright women and so many talented women, and so many people with so many connections. I don't think we're going to fail on this.
And there's over 25 years worth of Tech Trek.
Mhm.
And there were always Professional Women's Night attendees at Tech Trek. So reaching out to, you know, some people that had been involved in that,
Tech Trek, right.
in the Tech Trek camps, where there were professional women who came and spoke about
All
their
right.
careers and how they morphed from one to the other.
Let's see, Carol, did you have something that you wanted to say about that? Oops, you have to unmute.
Unmute, went the wrong way. I was going to piggyback on what Sharon has been saying, which is what I was going to say, but she got her hand up first. You know, we all have relatives, we all have friends. I mean, I've connected some people looking for a job in the area that one of my daughters does, just for example. You know, it's just, it's not that hard. But we do have to think outside the box again.
Okay, Patricia. You have to unmute, Patricia. Patricia has to unmute.
Did she raise her hand?
Yeah, I thought she did.
I think she's just
Talking.
I
trying.
think she's
Talking.
talking
Somebody
to
else.
someone
Animated
She's talking to somebody
conversation with
else.
somebody.
Oh, okay. All right. All right,
Good.
Patricia, you're faking me out. Okay. Yeah,
Becky.
Becky. And you have to unmute.
One of
Becky.
the other things that you know, we're getting feedback on is people want to do something. They want to have some sort of activity. And so we have incorporated through our public policy group is we pick a topic every month, and then we have people write postcards to our legislators about education or about reproductive rights or something along those lines. And we give people some talking points, and then they can write a postcard. We also talk about the 2-minute activist as well. So when people go, oh, this is super easy, this 2-minute activist. And so people aren't necessarily confining their activity to the meetings, but they're doing it, you know, whenever they see something or they want to talk about something. So I think that's really important to people, that they don't want to just come listen to a program. They want to do something.
Right.
So that
Especially now.
postcard writing or that 2-minute activist is really important. So so we do that during our social hour, so that people are, talking about what they're writing about and that kind of thing. So kind of do two things at the same time.
Yeah, I see. I've heard tonight a couple ideas for making social hour a little more meaningful. And I think it's a little bit of doing, a little bit of, let's talk to each other tonight about our favorite book. Let's talk tonight about, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I mean, where you are mingling, find the person who is, got the most, I can't remember what that was, but anyway, I think those are really good activities. Sigrid?
Yeah, I was going to say, all of you as leaders receive a copy of the Board to Board, the B2B every month. Read it. Inside are a lot of ideas for things to do something, particularly on the public policy. And I know that their section is always really long, but man, do they have a lot of doing things and things that you can invite in other individuals to participate with. If it's a something that National is putting on, a Zoom or a webinar, or if it's some kind of program that we're going to get started that's part of public policy, read it and look for opportunities to engage new members or prospective members, because there's a lot of activity. And I know that the B2B can be kind of long, but look for the action pieces of it. And I think you'll find lots of good stuff to incorporate in your meetings and with individuals.
Just piggybacking on that quickly, Peggy.
Yeah.
Every member that's a millennial or a Gen Z or somebody should be aware of the public policy newsletter that they put out, because there are always 3 items of things that can be done in the advocacy, social justice, public policy realm. And that is what is appealing to a younger demographic. So that's public policy newsletter is accessed easily through the state website, 2 different places. Public policy, just look it up. It's dynamite.
Okay, it's really good. That's really, really great. And also the Bay Awards give you wonderful ideas if you're looking for a project where lots of people can participate. They could just look through them, and you could be sure you ask your members, what do you want to do? Remember, it's volunteers first, not what we've always done. Here's our array of programs. If they say, well, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want that. Hey, it's a wide open field. I just started a civics program, and I started working with the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we did the Mix It Up for Lunch. That was really out of the box. These are the out of the box things that your millennial members, your older members, if they just get their creative juices flowing. I think it's the day and age when most are millennials, and even some of our boomer members that are older, they're still wanting to reach out into the community. I'm just going to throw out a few suggestions here, and I'm going to ask if anybody else has any ideas because these are from Oregon. This is what we do in Eugene. Our branch in Salem, we go out to we participated in Juneteenth this year. We had a Ukrainian festival day, and we honored the Ukrainians. We had people from Russia and Ukraine speak, a woman whose son went to Ukraine to help fight. Very interesting. We have a World Beat Festival every year in Salem, and we work the table. At the Juneteenth, we picked up trash. We said, how can we help? We went to the NAACP. We said, how can we help you with your Juneteenth? And they said, hey, we need people to sit at the table and say hello and be greeters, and we need people to pick up trash. So that's what we did. And this year we're going to have our own table there. Salem Speaks, speaking up those programs that are there in Salem. So what other programs in your community do you think are mission related that can we have some suggestions from those who maybe haven't spoken yet tonight? Oh, come on. I know you aren't all that shy. I would call on people, but I don't know. That might not be so good. Come on. Anybody want to suggest a community program that they could connect with AAUW just out of the blue? Okay, you guys are tough. Okay, Sigrid.
This is an easy one. If your branch gives scholarships at any local colleges, either, community college or universities, partner with them for programs. They love it. And as was said earlier, that'll also get you some points on your 5-star award. But if you're giving money to their students, you need to be more engaged with what the school is doing. And that's one way to be present for the younger generation and also show them that AUW is an action-oriented organization and we're not just sitting around reading books.
I think
I like book club though.
yeah, thank you. And you can do sharing of books as part of fundraisers. Donna, go ahead.
Unmute. You, Sigrid, you reminded me that Sacramento State University, which is designated a Latino, Asian, and Black. I don't understand how it works, but you can get these designations. And the latest one is that we are not a historic Black university, but we are a Black university. Has been added, even though we're only 10% Black. We had trouble getting them to renew their membership this year. And we've done a lot of things with them in the past. And the problem is that the current administration in Washington has put so many threats on the different schools and who's going to do what, that everybody is watching every penny. So that's our major campus. So we paid for their membership. We found instructors, we found sponsors at the campus that would agree to run, so that we still had the team. And then we're having, I can't think of the name of what the role is, but we're having some bigwig come present in a meeting this spring and talk to us about how they've developed these programs for the Asians and for the Latinos and for the Blacks and all these different things that have come out. Sacramento is the most diverse city in the United States.
And so, yes, Donna, and I think that is such an opening because you are now in a position where you can say to them, what can our branch do for you? And rather than having them come to us, you can say, hey, maybe we're kind of old, maybe we're not as there's not as many of us. It used to be, and our time frames are screwy. But you know what? We've got the heart and we believe in diversity. And if you've got a program that is somewhat within our AAUW mission, even just for equity, is there something do you need manpower, woman power for a program that you have where we can come and help man a table, send flyers out, have speakers come. This is the way it's sort of volunteers first within the community instead of us. It's all the same principle. Instead of demanding that they come to us, like we don't demand our recruits come to us and fit into our way of doing things, is that we reach out and say, what do you want? What do you need? Is how can we satisfy your needs? I think you can do that when you're reaching out to others. Celebrating the different history months gives you a challenge to go out into your communities and say, well, where is the Asian group of women? Can we get together with them and have even a luncheon? Is there something that we can do for any of these groups? I think reaching out. Anyone else have any other ideas about that? And I know we're kind of running out of time, but any other ideas for that?
Well,
And
Becky's branch does tabling at,
yes, tabling. That's very good.
and so we copied and tabled at a Jewish food festival.
Absolutely.
And we have 3 new members, and we have some from that tabling, and we have more people who are checking us out.
And when our last piece is recognition, and recognition comes not just at the end of something, but always in between with our members. You could thank your members for participating in an event, and what was the benefit of the event for the mission. That's very important to say. In this case, it would be that we all got acquainted with people that we don't know much about your culture. We don't have an opportunity to mingle with and say hello and talk about things and learn what we have in common. So those are kind of some of the principles tonight, and we're a little bit over, but I want to thank you all for being here and for hanging in there. My gosh, you've all hung in. I really appreciate it. If there's anyone that would like to say something before we leave, please raise your hand. Alisa.
Hi. I am not normally able to come because we normally have our board meetings on the exact same time that you guys have your meeting, but so I appreciate the recordings. We change our meeting trying to follow the don't have any meetings or programs on holidays. And so we shifted it to next week. So I was able to come. So while I am here, thank you all very much for everything you do. I am so impressed with the incredible women that are involved in AEUW, and I am thrilled that I chose to join. Well, 2015 is when I joined, but I am just very proud of this organization and all that we do. So thanks to all of you. And if we have another conflict, maybe I'll see you again.
Well, I tell you, we so appreciate you, Lisa. We appreciate you telling us that. That makes us feel so good. Thank you. And thank you for contributing tonight. Appreciate it. Anyone else wants to say anything before I turn it over to Sigrid and we say goodbye? Becky? Okay.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming tonight. We really appreciate all your feedback. And I know Peggy will continue to share that. And I know that, just having the conversations helps generate new ideas. I know I took away a couple of things tonight too, that I'm going to try to implement as well. So thank you all for being here and hope you learned something, and please encourage your members. If they weren't able to come, or some of your other board members, the meetings are recorded. We usually get them out maybe 2 to 3, 4 days after the meeting, and encourage your folks to take a look at it and to look at the original slides that Peggy talked about. We just hit the highlights. Peggy did a great job of doing that. So thank you all for being here. Any last comments before we sign off?
Just be sure to take the survey when you sign out. It'll pop up automatically, and we really appreciate your feedback, and helps us guide us in what we should present next. So thank you for attending tonight as well.
Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Good luck.